This is Lookup Business. My name is Simbalaji Charles Kiage. Thank you very much for taking your time to join us for this particular episode. Now, this is the introduction that I'm going to do for this particular one. If you remember, let me take you back to 2013 under the Jubilee administration. We did have some pillars that the government was running under that was supposed to take us all the way to 2022, some of which were riding heavily under Vision 2030. Top of that was affordable healthcare. We're not into that. But then down there was one very attractive one, affordable housing. Under that, all the way to 2022, Kenya was supposed to realize 500,000 affordable housing units in a span of 5 years. That's from 2017 to 2022. I'm going to leave it to you. Did former retired President Uhuru Kenyatta deliver on that? If you speak to majority of real estate experts, they're going to tell you, he failed to deliver on that. But that set ground for bigger conversations then on how that particular agenda could be carried through. 6 years down the line, we have a new president. His name, Dr. William Ruto. Yes, sorry for me introducing for you somebody that you know very well. But I'm introducing him because he came in, but then instead of dropping that agenda, he said that affordable housing agenda is well alive in my government. To date, we've seen him launch a couple of those projects, 5 to be specific. The latest one being the one that he launched in Homa Bay when he did his last visit. And it's for us to wait and see how it takes off. Because if you do remember, the county government of Homa Bay is the one that donated that land. Now, this is what he's saying. Annually, for the next 5 years, he wants to achieve 250,000 units of affordable housing. Again, you go back to the promise that were given almost 6 years ago, and you say, not so much of a difference. So today, right here on Lookup Business, let's begin the year like this. Is that something that the current government can actually achieve, going by how far the previous administration failed heavily on it? Joining us to have a conversation around this particular area, we do have a Cornel Mboya, who is the managing partner at Mauna Consulting Limited. Cornel, how are you doing, sir?
Very fine, sir.
Happy to have you around. Are people supposed to say Happy New Year? If this is the very first time that we meet together.
It's February.
It is February, isn't it?
But Happy New Year.
To you too, sir. Let's start like this then. Uhuru Kenyatta, whether you like it or not, yes, an ambitious plan to deliver 500,000 by 2022. We did see a couple, but then generally you'll say, yes, it did not live up to their expectation. That is the affordable housing agenda. Ruto comes in with an even more ambitious plan, you would say, saying 250,000 affordable housing units by the end of each year. Meaning that by the end of 2023, we should be realizing 250,000 units of affordable housing under the affordable housing agenda. So let's begin like this. Do you think it's a possibility, going by the benchmark that we have from Uhuru Kenyatta's government?
Simba, it is very possible. Very possible. I would want to say that Uhuru did well because he brought in this for the first time. It has never been there. And we can call that baby steps. Though we didn't have that roll call or even the manual to see how the affordable housing should pick up and see how the affordable housing should be done and realize the number of units that we need to have. Going by the trends, we have a deficit of around 2 million.
Yes.
Every year. So, and this, if we have to cap this, because each and every year we still have 200 people who are coming to the city. 200,000 people who are coming to the city.
Yes.
To get employment or to start life or something like that. So all the people also need to be considered when we are talking about the affordable housing. Each and every year, apart from the 2 million deficit that we have 200,000 people who are coming in every year. So what President Uhuru Kenyatta did was good to introduce the affordable housing. And now it is upon President Dr. William Ruto to pick it up, which is done so well. In his first, can I say 6 months, he's done very many launches, like 4 or 5. He's gone to the counties, he's done one in Homa Bay, he did one in Rongai, another one in
Kiambu County as well. Yes.
Which is good. So how are we going to implement it? How are we going to get this? So that should be the question.
That should be the question.
Yes.
So I just want us to look at the stats that President Dr. William Ruto is throwing around. He said that the goal of the government is to construct 250,000 houses every year for low-income earners. Now, here's the thing. The president has already commissioned 17,850 units in Mukuru, Rongai, and Kibera to ease the housing burden affecting low-income earners. Now, here's the thing. He said that the program targets 6.5 million Kenyans living in slums and informal settlements. Let's look at the numbers, Mboya. 250,000, already 17,850 units already commissioned. So the deficit that we're looking at by the end of this year should be something like 140-something thousand, or 137,000, or 33,000 to be specific. Is that an achievable feat when you're looking at it? Because then if you start then to say what that translates to a day, boy, I could be speaking to something like 8,000 a day? Yes, I mean, we gotta do that math.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it achievable?
It is achievable if everyone is brought on board.
Yes.
The government cannot do it alone. The government should get even the private developers and give them the opportunity to help us get the affordable housing. We have very many private developers who are doing the market rate developments.
Yes.
When this is changed to affordable housing, it will help the government. So the only thing that the government should do is just to support them in terms of getting cheap materials or even using a different technology of doing the affordable housing. When that is done, it will reduce the number of the units that are supposed to be done every year. And it's also going to bring the price down to help the common wananchi, the middle income, the low income earners to get at least a unit each. But it is we can realize that.
From where you seated, yes, we can realize that. So which therefore begs the question, Cornel, where did Uhuru Kenyatta fail? Because he looked at 5 years, he said, if I can get 100,000 from 2017 to 2022, I shall have delivered. But that did not happen. But now, Dr. William Ruto is coming up with an even bigger number, 250,000 per year. What do you think Uhuru Kenyatta failed? Why did he not get it right?
Like I said, it was a baby step.
Yes.
When this was introduced in all the governments.
He was learning as we go back.
Yeah, as we go back.
Yes.
But what I can say that it didn't involve everyone. It was just a government idea and a government issue and a government plan.
Yes.
But if you realize, even the ones that were launched in Rongai, they were for private developers, not really for the government.
Yes.
And not sure about the one that was done in Kiambu. But now Dr. Ruto has involved the private developers and given the opportunity to do that. We are doing some in Kitengela.
Yes.
And also some are also coming in at the river. We're just trying to get a way of even getting to where they are so that we can tell them this is what we have. And this definitely is going to reduce the number of units, that the target that we have. And it is still affordable within the affordable bracket. I'm sure once Dr. Ruto introduce all the parties, bring in everyone on board, the people who are doing the market rate to come to the affordable housing, the people who are doing the affordable housing also to get some tax exemptions, definitely you're going to realize that.
Pretty much.
If within the first 4 or 5 months is launched, how many did you say? 17,000?
Yes, 500. Yes.
It is possible.
Let's take it a little bit back. Then we look at the numbers. Cornel, we do know that KMRC, that's the Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company, has been in operation since 2020.
Yes.
And if you look at the number of loans that they disbursed within that period, you will say they have not really hit the ground running. Let's talk about the ones that we saw get launched by Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm going to tie it up to KMRC as well. We did realize that 1 bedroom was going to go for 1 million.
1 million.
2 bedroom was going to go for 2 million, and 3 bedroom was going to go for 3 million as well. So essentially, if you want to fit a family into the system, and that's what millennials are, Cornel, you'll understand and agree, then they're not going to sit for the 1 bedroom. They're not going to sit for the 2 bedroom. In fact, they're looking at 3 bedroom then, if you're attracting them to this plan. Ruto's plan is that mortgage in this country should be around 10,000. And I told you just before we went on air, that is him saying there should be rent-to-own model in this country. At least 10,000 should be able to get you on a mortgage plan. So KMRC finds itself in the thick of this. You see, it's doing around 9%, meaning that you could be getting at around maybe 18, 16% once you go for this ones from a bank.
Yes.
What is this thing that Ruto has to do to make sure that this 9%, Cornel, is going to translate to 10,000 at least once you go to a bank or any other company that is a mortgage business, by the fact that they are tied to KMRC? Is that not where it makes the sense then, Cornel?
Simba, KMRC has done well.
Yes.
But I can challenge them that they've not hit the market. Very many people don't know about KMRC. Very many people out here. We've had launches, I told you before we went on air.
Yes.
Last year we were in KICC here in Nairobi. The other year we were in Naivasha.
Yes.
But I was seeing the same faces. The ones that we were with in Naivasha, the same people that we were in KICC.
Yes.
There were no new faces.
Yes.
And I think KMRC should task the banks to go out and tell everybody that we have a refinance mortgage, a refinance loan that is going for 9%. I told you the banks that have not talked about it is when they're 2 years down the line is when they are planning to launch the KMRC mortgage. 2 years down the line. 2 years down,
which is a big disconnect from what should be happening, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And unless you get close to maybe one of the managers is when you'll know about that that mortgage because it's still under the carpet. Once we see posters, we see banners talking about 9% KMRC mortgage, then definitely people are going to look for houses. We don't have cash. People don't have cash to pay. When you give us in installments, definitely we're going to pay.
Yes.
We can definitely look for that, maybe the down payment, if it's 10% or 20%, then the rest is done by the KMRC. Kenyans can be happy. But now we don't have this information. People don't have this information. Then secondly, for us to realize this 10,000 Kenya shillings as a mortgage for the KMRC, it will force developers, as even the government, to come up with the rent-to-own units.
Yes.
When the unit is ready, you get in, you pay just the same way you pay your rent. If it is 10,000, 15,000, you pay your rent and it goes to cover the KMRC mortgage. That is the only way it can be realized. But I'm trying to look at, unless they come up with a very special way of handling the rent-to-own mortgage, it would be tricky because you know the house has to be ready. It has to be ready. Someone has to be living in it. And even if it is not ready, you start paying at off plan, maybe 15,000, 10,000.
Yes.
You start paying at off plan. then it has to go for 3 to 5 years. And then the developer also need to get his money. Maybe he got it from a bank or something. He's also paying the interest. So unless they fine-tune it in a very special way,
yes,
to cover up that 10 to 15,000, yeah, but I'm sure they can do it.
Pretty much. Which therefore begs the question, Cornel, if that's where we are in terms of achieving it, do you feel that right now, I know you've gone to a lot of symposiums for the real estate sector and affordable housing conversations, do you think that the government is looking at the private sector now as what is going to be the solution for them achieving this affordable housing agenda?
Yes, they are looking at the private sector, and as I've mentioned, private developers are so very important in this industry.
Yes,
because the government cannot do it alone. The government has a lot of projects to do. It's not only the affordable housing that we need to talk about. We have the healthcare, we have food, we have a lot of things that the government should be doing. But once the private developers are welcomed into this industry, then definitely we are going to realize that. And the government also should look into the taxes that the people are paying.
Especially the private players in the sector.
Private players in the sector. And even the clients.
Yes.
Things to do with stamp duty. I think if it has to be paid, then at least to be maybe 0.something%, at least to make that money that I'm trying to struggle, the 10, 15,000 rent to own money, not to really go for that stamp duty, but to go for the particular mortgage that I'm paying.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of things that need to be paid, even from the Ministry of Lands, the lands registry, a lot of things need to be done there. The searches for all these need to be free for the affordable housing. You exempt people, the developers who are trying to import maybe the materials from out of the country. It becomes tax-free. That would be better, and also would even give morale to the private developers.
Yes.
Yes.
Another question that somebody asked, and I'm putting that to you, is that indeed, if we're going to talk about the affordable housing agenda, you got to look at it in wholesome. And the bigger fact when it comes to this country, if indeed you're going to construct a house, you're going to talk about affording a home, is land, Cornel. Yes. So talk to me about this suggestion in two perspectives. Somebody suggested maybe the government should come up with completely different rates, land rates in cities, where the need for affordable housing is at optimum, so that private players then can come in and listen to the prices that the government wants them to sell these houses for. And number two, somebody also gave the suggestion, why not cap the prices? Why not get into price capping? Saying, indeed, if you're going to construct a 2-bedroom house with this technology at this place, it can't go beyond this. If you're going to pick on mortgage, it can't go beyond this. So that now any other person who's interested in real estate, Cornel, will come in knowing this is what I expect. Do you think we should go that route?
That is very possible. That is very possible, because
you guys in the real estate sector will say, no, this is we don't want this. No good for business.
The players in the sector are very flexible.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day is what we take home. If the government comes up with what you're talking about, that if it has to be mortgage, then we cap the unit prices.
Yes.
Then at the end of the day, it is us also to go and sit down and look at it keenly, at what are we supposed to be getting out of this? And because it is not all about us, it's also about the consumers, the clients, the common wananchi. That's why we are building the houses. It is very possible.
It is quite possible. It's something that can be floated, isn't it?
Yes.
Pretty much. I'm going to come back to essentially end this conversation in this sense. But then I want to take you back a bit. I mean, I introduced you as the managing partner, Mauna Consulting Limited, for the very first time, therefore, Cornel. Could you then tell us who Mauna Consulting Limited is, what you're into, and where you find yourself in this affordable housing agenda conversation?
Simba, we are a valuation firm, we
Yes.
are a property management firm, and we are developers firm. We all do all this at Mauna Consulting. We have affordable housing in Kitengela, and they're called Tirian. We are done with the phase one. The last time I was here,
Yes.
I remember after the show we were sharing with your colleague. You were telling him, if you don't get it at 2 million today, then wait next year.
That's it.
And if it comes today, it's 4 million.
Whoa.
It's 4 million. The 3 billion that you were selling at 2.5.
Yes, now at 4 million,
yeah,
isn't it?
4 million. And I remember you telling him, if you don't take it today, then
You ain't gonna get it at that particular pricing. Yes.
The Kitengela units, we have 3-bedroom going for 4.4 million.
Yes.
And 2-bedroom going for 3.3 million. We also introduced 1-bedroom in the second phase, which are going for 2.2 million.
Yes.
The first one we are giving in April.
This year, that is?
This year.
Yes.
In 2 months' time, we are going to give out to the owners phase one. People have paid. There's nobody with a deficit. Everyone has paid, and we are happy for that. So the second phase is going on. We have a few units remaining, and it is almost done. We are planning to give the phase two in December this year.
Yes.
Now the good thing that we have with Terian is when you buy and you don't want to stay there, you're looking for someone to rent. We give a grace period of 1 year. We pay you. The rental income is 30,000 for 3-bedroom, 25 for 2-bedroom, and 20 for 1-bedroom.
Yes.
So because phase one is done, and you've bought, for example, Simba, you have a unit at Tirian, you don't want to stay there. You're looking for someone to live there and pay you rent. And for the meantime, you haven't gotten that person to rent it. So as the developers, we pay you the rent for 1 year, a period of 1 year.
If that is essentially why you bought it, I just bought it to rent, and I made
Yes,
that clear.
yes.
Before I get a client, you guys are gonna
We are going
sort
to
out my
pay,
rental.
yes.
Yes.
For 1 year. That's the advantage that
As
we
you
have.
keep on looking for
As
clients
we
to come
keep
in, isn't
on
it?
looking for clients.
So what if I get a client probably in 3 months of looking for one?
Then we'll now stop paying you. The
Yes.
client will now be paying you. But the
Fantastic.
rental income is 30,000.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
It has a kindergarten. It has commercial center.
Yes.
Very spacious.
Pretty much.
And more parking.
Yeah, one to look into then. Cornel, I know we've set pace for our conversations that are going to follow this year, but then look out, I'll be inviting him again once we start then to look into the performance of the real estate sector. But since we're opening it like this, in just 45 seconds as we clear, could you give me your outlook for the real estate sector in 2023?
The president has really started so well. He has put his best foot forward.
Yes.
And has been moving around to launch the affordable housing and also encouraging everybody to at least own a home with the help of the KMRC. When it is fine-tuned and also we have everyone to know about the KMRC, people should know about KMRC. I really challenge the management of KMRC. We don't know about KMRC. Only the players in this sector would definitely talk about KMRC. Today I was sharing with a friend of mine. I sent him the qualifications, things to what the KMRC consider for one to have their mortgage.
Yes.
He's never heard of that, and he's been in employment for the last 30 years.
Yes.
So we really appreciate. So going forward, I think we need to really look into this affordable housing keenly, because people want homes.
Yes.
People need homes. If we can get that rent to own bit and be assisted by the government to launch it and also see how it's moving from its inception to the end product, then definitely this congestion that we have in the city will move. And also the counties. I remember you mentioned something to do with the counties. We need to have more affordable housings in the country. Kisumu President launched, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta launched affordable housing. I've never heard anybody talk about it again. Machakos will need affordable housing. It's near Nairobi. It's easy. We're using the expressway to get to affordable housing. Even in Machakos, it's like 30 to 40 minutes drive. We really need to think out of the box, at
Pretty
least
much.
to get where we should be as Kenyans.
Right.
To realize
Yes.
the 2 million units that need to be done every year.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Cornel, thank you very much for
You're
creating
welcome.
time, man.
You're welcome.
More to follow this year. By the way, we're just getting started right here on a Lookup business. Follow us online at Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. The hashtag is Lookup Business. In conversation with Cornel Mboya, who is the managing partner at Mauna Consulting Limited. I'll meet you for another one next week. Goodbye.